you're staying at home a lot these days to practice physical distancing, first of all, thank you for doing your part. Secondly, you may have found more time or opportunities to reflect more deeply on the nature of connection and what it means to you personally. If that sounds familiar, then this episode is for you. Welcome to Audiobook Reviews in 5. This is Jana, also known as Yana, and today I'm reviewing Lost Connections, Uncovering the Real Causes of Depression and the Unexpected Solutions, written and narrated by Johan Hari. I first heard about Johan Hari's work after listening to his interview on the Making Sense podcast with Sam Harris, which I never miss an episode of. I was so impressed by Hari's storytelling throughout the interview that I purchased Hari's audiobook from Audible because I anticipated re-listening to parts of the book. And I can tell you, I definitely have. I enjoy Hari's narration of his own work because his self-effacing and mostly candid style works so well here and makes him super relatable. That said, I agree with some of the criticism here. Dean Burnett of The Guardian writes that, quote, Hari portrays the medical and psychiatric and scientific establishment as some shadowy monolithic organization, enthralled to the drug industry and unwilling to consider new approaches and ideas that challenge entrenched behaviors, unquote. You know, after listening to this audiobook, I get where that criticism is coming from. And I wonder if this aspect of the book reflects Hari's personal frustration with antidepressants and the medical establishment, given his admittedly long and frustrating experience with depression and anxiety that he relates in the book. So bear that in mind if you do give this a listen. However, to his credit, Hari is quick to invite criticism of his ideas and seems keen to remind listeners and readers to question and validate for themselves the research materials he cites throughout the book. He's also received some criticism in the past regarding how he presents ideas, so I appreciate the transparency here. Now, focusing on the theme of disconnection, Hari identifies 9 causes of depression and anxiety that strike me as especially timely concerns amidst the current COVID-19 pandemic. In 9 consecutive chapters, he talks about the disconnection from meaningful work, from other people, from meaningful values, from childhood trauma, from status and respect, from the natural world, and finally, disconnection from a hopeful or secure future. I enjoyed the personal stories that Hari shared in each chapter because they make him much more relatable, and I found they help paint a more human picture for listeners looking beyond the facts and figures, which, don't get me wrong, they matter, but sometimes it is so helpful to have a personal story to go alongside that. The most memorable chapter for me is all about reconnecting through sympathetic joy through others and overcoming what Hari calls addiction to the self. This chapter alone is worth the listen, especially if you're open to honestly reflecting on your relationship habits, and that's key. The application of the ideas presented throughout this audiobook is deeply personal. You're not going to be able to follow a list of instructions or prescription. And it requires deliberate and repeated practice, much of it related to cognitive behavioral therapy and mindfulness. Not everyone will be open to these ideas. But you know what? If you are, and you appreciate good storytelling and shared personal experience, this is a solid listen. As many of us are currently isolated, living alone, or we're spending all of our time with a small number of other people, it's worth reflecting on the nature of distraction and what we do that contributes to connections with others and even with ourselves. Finally, I recommend this audiobook to everyone who wants to better understand the behaviors that contribute to and alleviate depression and anxiety symptoms. Even if you're well versed in this area, Hari's delivery and storytelling may offer you some refreshing ways to reframe common insights. So check it out. That's all for this episode of Audiobook Reviews in 5. Thanks for listening. I look forward to checking in with you all again soon. Please stay safe and be well.